Let's welcome Mike Fuchs, Senior Fellow with Center for American Progress. Also, Rachel Bovard, who is Senior Director of Policy with Conservative Partnership Institute. Rachel, what do you think? Are we setting ourselves up for success or failure here?
Well, I think we're setting ourselves up for success. I mean, Donald Trump is holding China accountable to international standards of trade. Everybody calls it a trade war, but what it really is realigning the trade relationship to international standards. It is well known that China is a trade cheat. And for years, America has been the patsy of China's ability to manipulate our markets. And Donald Trump has simply said no more. And so that's, I think, what we're dealing with right now.
Mike, we had Sarat sitting in for you for the moment. But what do you think about this? Is there progress that's going to be made? Are both sides going to dig in?
I think at the moment, unfortunately, I'm a glass half empty kind of guy on this. I think the problems with this trade war are manifold. But first and foremost, I don't think I understand or anyone really understands what the end game is here for the trade war that President Trump has launched. We've been on an 18-month-long roller coaster, and the whiplash is intense right now. Just a few days ago, obviously, President Trump was talking about ordering all U.S. companies to get out of China, which, of course, he can't do anyway. But then a few days later, we're talking about, signs that maybe there's some progress in trade talks. I think the reality here is that we're in for the long haul. The Chinese are settling in right now for the long haul. And I think the question for the United States right now is, what are the goals of this trade war right now? And do they think that they can realistically achieve them?
Rachel, you want to answer that question?
Well, I think it's just what I said. It's rebalancing the China trade relationship. It is comporting them to international standards. And you know who's not glass half empty here is American farmers. Just 2 surveys in the last 2 months, in July and August, out of Iowa University and Purdue University, show a 57% support for Trump's trade war among farmers, and 78% of them see a long-term good solution to this. So I think the people being most affected by it understand what Donald Trump is trying to do, and that's take this relationship with China, which has blossomed over the last 40 years, but done so quickly, and rebalance it and said, hey, we believe in free trade, but only when the other person is playing by the rules as well. We don't want to be the patsy to China anymore. That's exactly what he's doing. So the goal is very clear. I would dispute that. The goal is very clear.
Oh, okay.
Let's have free and fair trade.
Do you think we get to those solutions? Is that something you expect happening in the next couple of years?
I think Trump has committed America to that. I think China, it's hard to see what effect this is having on their economy because they just straight up lie about the numbers, but it looks like it is impacting them. And so I do think to the extent that it continues to impact them, they are going to be forced to come to the table. Donald Trump has been very clear about that. He's unpredictable to the Chinese, which I think helps Trump and gives him a little bit of leverage in these negotiations. So I don't think it's as dire as everybody thinks it is. I think China will be forced to come to the table.
Mike, you agree?
Unfortunately, no, I don't agree. I mean, I agree that there are obviously significant challenges that everyone believes we need to confront when it comes to China's economy and its unfair trade practices. I think that's not in dispute here. The question is, what are the priorities and what are the best strategies to actually change those Chinese economic practices?
It's that. And Rachel, do you think the president will say, wait a second, if it looks like the economy is turning down before his election, that he pulls back and says, we'll get a deal, but maybe not everything you laid out before?
Yeah, it's a give and a take for sure. But I do think that China is dealing with the first American president in years that has actually been strong on this issue. But right now, the American economy is doing great. All our economic indicators are strong. Job growth is the highest it's been in 50 years. I mean, we're doing well. So to the extent that this is working, I would say yes.